and we will begin our session now. And please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Welly Custono. I'm the Director of Canadian Education International Indonesia. We are a not-for-profit organization. Our legal entity is a foundation registered in Indonesia, and we are given the mandate by the Embassy of Canada to promote Canadian education. For today, we have a very exciting topic to discuss, and we have great panelists who are with us, and I will be introducing each of them a bit later. But we want to begin this morning's session by giving an overview about Canadian scholarships. As pertaining to the topic of our discussion today is Canada within budget, success beyond borders. Canada is one of the top popular destinations in the world. We are in the top 4, and we are one out of 2 only countries in the whole world that has hosted more than 1 million international students within a year. And that took place for us in 2023. So obviously, we are also quite popular in Indonesia. We are one of the top 10 destinations among Indonesian students. And the popularity and the interest in Canadian education from Indonesia has grown consistently across the years. However, a lot of people are sometimes still believe that Canadian education is expensive or may not be for them. And this webinar today hopefully will be able to give more insight about Canadian education and how to have it be more affordable for anyone that's interested to study there. Of course, there are different ways. There is, of course, the scholarship program, but we also offer work opportunities during and after study for international students. And we are also very known of the co-op program, where Canada has the largest co-op program network in the world. But what about co-op? And what about these part-time jobs? What are the things that we need to know? We will discuss that during the panel discussion. I'm pleased to introduce my team member, Mr. Joseph Gallen, who is the area representative based in Surabaya. And he will be delivering a presentation on an overview of Canadian scholarships. So you can know the difference, how to get that, and the range of value that are usually offered quite generously by the Canadian universities. So without further ado, the screen is yours, Gallen. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Willy, and hi everyone. Please wait a moment while I'm put up my screen. Okay, so hi everyone. Before we begin our today virtual talk, I will begin this session with a brief presentation about Canadian scholarships that is available for international undergraduate students. So one thing that you need to know, the Canadian scholarships for international undergraduate students in Canada, it is not offered by like a government body. It is offered by each universities in Canada. So in order to find a scholarship opportunity for international undergraduate students, you need to check with each university. Okay. So typically, there are 2 types of scholarships offered by Canadian university. Either they offer these 2, or they just offer one type of scholarships if they have the scholarship offer. So one is automatic consideration scholarship. This is the type of the scholarship, okay? And second is application-based scholarships. Okay, for automatic consideration, what does it mean? It means that to get this scholarship, you don't need to apply for the scholarship. You just need to apply to the university, and then the university will consider you automatically for that scholarship. Either they will have the standard, which you can see in their website. For example, if you get from 80 to 85, and you can get this amount of scholarship, and then or you can get from 86 to 90, you can get this amount of scholarship. Either they will display a clear standard, or it will be a competition. So for the top 5% will get certain amount of scholarship, which you will not know. It depends on the university. So no separate application is needed for this type of scholarship. You just need to apply to the university, and then they will automatically consider you for the scholarship. They will focus on your grades, because generally, if you apply to Canadian universities, two main top points to consider in the admission is your grades, your score, and your English proficiency, that is IELTS or TOEFL. So they will just look at your grades, and English proficiency will be depending on the university's admission. Usually for undergraduate degree in Canada, the English proficiency level required is IELTS 6.5 or equivalent TOEFL. So this is usually merit based. So we'll look at your academic profile only. And if there is any supplemental application required by the admission, yeah, you will need to submit anything required by the admission. For example, certain faculty in certain universities, for example, faculty of engineering or from certain universities will require you to give additional additional requirements, like submitting video or something like that. Or certain universities in their application system will require you to submit personal statement or personal profile as part of the application. That will be you don't need any additional thing. You just need to comply with what is required by the university for the admission, and you need only to adhere to the university application deadline. For this type of scholarship, there is no full amount of scholarship. So automatic consideration scholarship will always be partial. There is no full amount scholarship for this. The amount, we don't know, so vary, can be from whatever amount up to, normally the maximum amount is just about 50% of the tuition fee, and can be just for 1 year or can be renewed every year. So it depends from each university. So the second type is application-based scholarship. For this type of scholarship, you will need separate application. So which means that you need to apply to the university, and then you apply for the scholarship as well to the university. Okay, so there will be two separate registration form, so to speak. And the focus, the emphasis of this scholarship is not just good grades, not just excellent grades, but also whether or not you have leadership activities during your secondary study, and also community service or volunteering. Extracurricular activities will also help, and normally this type of scholarship will require you to provide essay or personal statement. English proficiency will be the same as required for the admission, by the admission. And this can be merit-based or merit and need-based. So what does a merit and need-based mean? That means they will also consider you for the scholarship if you have a financial need. So some scholarship, if they are merit and need based, although you have a very excellent academic profile, but if they consider that you are not you don't have that financial need, they will not consider you for this scholarship. And the same if any supplemental application required by the admission, you will need to comply with that. And usually, this type of scholarship will require you to submit nomination or recommendation from school or reference letters. Okay, every university, will apply different policy. Some universities can limit the nomination. Some others, you can appoint anyone to be your referral. So each university have a different policy regarding the nomination or recommendation. And also you need to pay attention to the university application deadline and the scholarship application deadline, not just the university application deadline, but also the scholarship application deadline, because there are two applications that you will need to submit to the university. Okay, I will show you some samples of the scholarship offered by universities. This is just overview, just samples. You will need to check with each university. You will need to check in their websites for the complete details of every scholarship offered. This is just few of them. Okay. So, number one, this is one of the most maybe famous scholarship offered by Canadian University. That is Lester B. Pearson Scholarship offered by University of Toronto. So this is application based, and this is renewable for 4 years, and the amount will be full tuition fees, living expenses will be covered, all books, everything will be covered from their tuition fee will be around 60 to 70 Canadian dollar per year. So as you can see in the key eligibility requirements, this will be awarded to outstanding international students that has exceptional academic achievement, extracurricular achievement, creativity, and leadership potential, with the emphasis on students' impact on the life of their school and community, and their future potential contribute positively to the global community. And nomination from school is required. For this type of scholarship, this is one of the most competitive scholarship in Canada. And this year we have one Indonesian students get this. And the nomination is limited to only one student per school every academic year. So one school can only nominate one student per academic year. Okay. Beside the application-based scholarship, the University of Toronto also have plenty of other automatic scholarships. So, for example, they have International Scholar Award for international students. Will only focus on your grades, the academic merit, and the cover the tuition, the amount of the scholarship will cover around 100,000 Canadian dollar, and the first year will be 40,000, and then renewable 20,000 per year in the second, third, and fourth years. They also have Art and Science Global Scholarship. This is offered by the Faculty of Arts and Science, the largest faculty in the University of Toronto. So only for the students applying to this faculty in St. George campus, and will be fully academic merit, but financial need may be considered. This may be considered, okay? So this will cover international tuition fees. This can cover like the whole tuition fee, but unlike the Lester B. Pearson, this way will not give you the living costs, the expenses, the living expenses. Incidental fees and university health insurance and fees for 4 consecutive years and third degree completion, whichever comes first. Okay. They also have other scholarships, for example, from each faculty, from Rodman, their Faculty of Business, from their Faculty of Engineering. And if you apply to the other campus other than St. George, like Mississauga or Scarborough, they also have scholarships specifically if you apply to those campuses. This is another sample of a scholarship by another university in Canada, also quite well known, University of British Columbia, the International Scholars Program. And similar to Lester B. Pearson, this can be up to full tuition and living costs for 4 years. So not necessarily will be covering all, but this can be up to, okay, up to. So the amount will depends on the university's scholarship committee discretion, okay, up to full tuition and living costs for 4 years, covering the tuition fee of 50 to 60 thousand Canadian dollar. So as you can see in the key eligibility requirements, this aims to attract international students with exceptional academics, superior extracurricular achievement, again, so academics and also extracurricular activities, leadership, and passion for serving the community. So all these aspects usually will be required if you apply for this uh, type of application-based scholarship. This is need and merit-based. Unlike the Lester B. Pearson, this is need and merit-based. So this will require financial documentation showing that students need more than 25,000 per year of funding to study at UBC, and school nomination is required. The school nomination is not as strict as the Lester B. Pearson. This can be more flexible because one school can nominate up to 3 students. Okay, these are the others automatic scholarship, automatic consideration scholarship. So this one, oh sorry. Okay, this one is only one time, non-renewable, 25K. So based on your entrance GPA and personal profile, because if you apply to the university, they will require you to write some sort of essay as the personal profile, and you will need to apply directly from high school, or you can also transfer from other post-secondary institution. Another automatic consideration scholarship still by the same university. This can cover up to 20K per year that may be offered in conjunction with the previous automatic scholarship. Whereas, according to the university, 1 out of 3 Indonesian applicants get these either two automatic scholarships or one of them. So actually, quite plenty of Indonesian students can get the automatic scholarship because normally they will look into the grades only. Okay, some other samples. This is by the York University application-based scholarship. The amount is 180K, that can cover like the whole tuition fee, but not living costs. As you can see in the key eligibility requirement, you must have an excellent academic record with minimum A or 90 plus, average or equivalent. You need to demonstrate leadership through community service or excellence in the arts, sports, and other areas of individual achievement. So as you can see, it is quite consistent for each application-based scholarship by each university. Always require good grades and leadership, community service or voluntary, and also any extracurricular, like art, sports, or other individual achievement. And they also require you to upload minimum 1 letter of recommendation letters. Other than those application-based, this university also offer you the automatic scholarship. So no application required. You just need to apply, and you can see in the screen the amount of each of the scholarship based on the score. So this type of scholarship, you can know, okay, if I think how can I get from this automatic scholarship based on the score. You can see that. Simon Fraser University with this application-based scholarship, undergraduate scholarship, enter scholarship, which one of our panelists later can tell because she got this one. So you need to apply for the scholarship. So the amount is 140K spread over 4 years and can be with additional 8,000 per semester for students who are exceptionally well, covering the tuition fee 36,000 per year. So as you can see, this is awarded to high achieving international students with exceptional academic merit again and must have grades in the 90% or IB 31, requires personal statement, extracurricular activities and reference letter. Financial need is also a consideration. And in order to get this scholarship and to maintain this scholarship, you need to maintain your GPA at the university B plus. Besides that, they also have this type of scholarship awarded to high achieving international student with average 90 to 91%. Also, another scholarship by another university, which one of our panelists here also get the scholarship. Later, she can explain further about this scholarship. You can see this is the minimum academic average is 80%, less competitive maybe in compared to the previous scholarship. And they do not need you to submit essay. They replace essay with videos, self-introduction, future goals, leadership, and future projects. This can be combined with admission or automatic consideration scholarship. You can see, and you can see whether your score can get this the automatic scholarship. Okay, maybe I have to be quick because this is just an overview of some universities offering application based and also automatic scholarship. Okay. Like this university, they offer automatic scholarship. You don't need to maintain GPA. Some universities, you need to maintain GPA. For this scholarship by Queen's University, you can get 100K and, spread over 4 years, and you just need to pass. You don't need to maintain your GPA. You can get the scholarship from the first year up to the fourth year without maintaining GPA. So every university will have their own policy regarding how the scholarship is given and distributed. One other is university automatic consideration scholarship by University of Regina. They have international student distinction scholarship that can cover the whole tuition fee. This is automatic scholarship. Not the whole living cost for 4 years. But this is not application based. This is full covering, but not the tuition fee, but the living cost for 4 years. They will give you 20K per year up to the fourth year of study. University of Waterloo, they previously have a full amount scholarship, but no longer. They still have a scholarship based on their faculty, global math scholarship one time, and spread onto 8 terms, and also other scholarship offered by each faculty. Western University, this is automatically without any score. If you are admitted, if your status is international student, you will directly get 10,000 Canadian dollar. So this is just samples of Canadian universities offering scholarship. You can see all these universities directly. You can meet them directly in later in the Study in Canada fair. You can ask about them. Not just these universities, there are also other universities with their scholarship offer. If you want to know, you can meet them directly there. Okay. Bonus insight. Okay, I think my time is not. I have to wrap up soon, like 2 more minutes. So this is from UBC. They gave a bonus insight about common essay questions. Maybe if you want to screenshot, you are allowed to do so. How to tell about yourself and describe about yourself, and this is typically what is required by the university, the kind of essay required by the university. Okay, and also still by the UBC, you need to describe up to 5 activities that you have pursued or accomplishment achieved by in one or more following areas. And also activities, you can highlight 1 or 2 activities listed above that are most important to you. This is some tips for international scholars. This is from UBC. Please use concrete examples. So instead of saying that you are a passionate leader, you can tell about concrete examples. For example, you see you in your neighborhood, you see underprivileged kids, and then how you make a free tutor from them. So you need to use concrete examples, not fake statement. And then make full use of the word count. For example, it is required 200, 500 words, uh, at least maximum at least 90% or up to 100% of the word count. Okay, don't do just like half of the required word. And do not repeat essay answers. For example, if you are if in your essay you highlight about your involvement in a debate regarding whatever climate change. If there is another essay in the scholarship application different with your university application, you can try a different angle from the same experience, and you can go or you dig deeper from that experience. Just make sure that you do not repeat your essay answer. Please review all the essay personal statement that you submitted for the university application, and also if it is required, or for the application-based scholarship application. And also you need to check the requirements for entry and make sure you meet the English language admission standard early. And for the IELTS or TOEFL, especially for the application-based scholarship, usually they will not wait and wait for the IELTS or TOEFL submission. Should be for the university application for the admission. Sometimes they will wait for your IELTS or TOEFL, but for the scholarship application, normally you have to meet everything by the deadlines. And yeah, definitely meet all the deadlines. This is examples of notable accomplishment. If you are a winner of a national or international award, member of national team prayer, business owner or entrepreneur, national art or music accomplishment, and completion of significant accomplishment, like you built your own home. Thank you so much. Go back to you, Pa Willy.
Thank you so much, Kellen, for the presentation. I know it will not be easy to cover a myriad of scholarship offerings in just 30 minutes. So it's next to impossible, but Kellen pulled it off, and thank you very much for that. We will have Q&A session at the end of this event, and therefore we will not be accepting any questions yet at this moment. But if you have any questions, you can always type in the chat box. But even though we are not accepting live Q&A questions at the moment, Galen, I do have a question for you. So if you can come back and help to answer this one. So in your research, when you are going through all those Canadian scholarships, right? You mentioned your last comment was on deadline. Is it safe to say to let these students know that there are applications required sometimes for certain scholarships, and for these types of scholarships usually the deadline can be earlier than the registration deadline?
Yeah. Okay, Pa. So thank you for the question. So a few universities for the application-based scholarship application period, yes, the deadline for few universities are earlier than the university application deadlines. But most of the most of the universities, usually you will need to be accepted first by the university, and then in order for you to be able to apply for that application-based scholarship. But yes, for a few universities, will require you to apply earlier than the university application deadline.
And one last question before we move on to our panel discussion, Galen. In your research, do you find that a lot of the scholarships require personal statement or essay, or is it only required by certain universities?
Many of them require personal statement or essay, but doesn't have to be like, for example, like trend. They replace the writing with videos, but always telling something about yourself. Not only the academic, because if you only submit academic, you will be automatically considered for the automatic consideration scholarship.
So you are referring for the application-based scholarships that most of them require personal statement.
Yes,
Is that correct?
application-based scholarship.
While most of the automatically considered scholarships tend to be more focused on the academic merit.
Yes.
All right. Thank you for the clarification. Thank you, Galen. And if you have any questions for Galen, obviously he will be around, and you are welcome to submit the questions now or maybe later on during the Q&A. So thank you very much once again, Galen. And now it's time to introduce our panelists. And with this, I like to invite all of our panelists to turn on their camera so I can introduce you very briefly. Now, we won't go into too many details during the introduction because I think it will become clear as we go through the discussion itself. All the details and the backgrounds will start to come out. But I do want to properly recognize our panelists because they're all very busy. Some of them are still at university studying. Some of them have graduated and continue to remain in Canada as professionals. But all the common thread, it's all getting pretty late in Canada. So they're all staying for this to share their inspiring stories, and hopefully this will be good best practices and good learning experience, and also best practices that everyone can take away out of this session, and hopefully will benefit you as you prepare for your planning to study in Canada. So with no particular order, I like to, except maybe alphabetical, I guess. I will begin with Miss Anissa Mutia, who is currently attending the second year at the Trent University. Anissa, would you like to say hi briefly to our audience?
Hi, thank you, Mr. Welly, for the time. My name is Anissa, and I'm actually a mature student pursuing my second undergraduate degree at Trent University, majoring in social work. I hope you guys can find this session beneficial and rewarding and motivates you to come and get educated in Canada as well.
Thank you so much, Anissa. And now, next, again in alphabetical order, I'd like to introduce Daryl Hallam.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Yeah, my name is Daryl. Currently, I'm working as an accounting specialist. I've been living in Canada since 2016, and I'm currently living in Winnipeg, Manitoba.
All right, thank you, Daryl. And now I have here Miss Ivana Angelica Jaya.
Okay, hello everyone. Thank you, Welly, for having me. So my name is Ivana, obviously. I go to UBC and I'm in my fifth year. I'm studying biotechnology.
And just in case if anyone is wondering, I thought the bachelor degree in Canada is supposed to be 4 years. Well, Ivana is going to share her experience doing co-op for multiple terms, and that's one of the reasons why she is completing in the fifth year, but soon she will graduate. So thank you for being here with us, Ivana. All right, and next, Mr. Jonathan Niti Sastro. Welcome.
Yeah. Hi everyone. My name is Jonathan, and thank you for having me. So I'm currently a recent graduate from University of Waterloo, majoring in computer science, and currently working full-time as software engineer in Toronto. Yeah, hope my experience can be helpful. everyone there.
All right. Thank you so much, Jonathan, for being here. And last but not least, Miss Meryl Agata Mulia.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Mariel, a first-year undergrad studying economics in SFU. I just came here last month, but I hope I can help anyone that needs help today.
Okay, that's great. So this panel discussion is going to take place in about an hour from now, and that still leaves us maybe around 15 minutes for Q&A. So without further ado, let's begin our panel discussion right now. And as a starter, I think it makes perfect sense, maybe for each of our panelists to give a little bit background, just briefly though, the reason why you chose Canada, because obviously I will consider all of you very successful, not only the ones that have graduated like Jonathan or Daryl, but even for Anissa, Ivana, and Meryl, because most of you are doing very well. Some of you got some really prestigious scholarships, while others have got experience working at many different, prominent organizations and institutions, doing co-op, racking up your mileage in terms of co-op work experience. So these are all very important factors for being part of a successful student. So I think with all that in mind, I think we want to know at the beginning first why you chose Canada. So can we start with you first, Anissa? Go ahead.
All right. Thank you for the time. So the reason that I choose Canada is because I would like to become a mental health counselor in the future. And Canada is one of the most experienced country in mental health field, and the social workers or the mental health counselors are very much needed at the moment. And also I have relatives here, so it's easier for me, very convenient during big days or maybe during emergencies. And I also love Canada weather. I love the cold. It's contradictory to other people, but I love the winter, and also I love the landscape. So it's really helpful for me to debrief or distress after academic stress or work stress. And also I love people, Canadian people in general, because they are nice, and I think it's a huge consideration as a personality that I look for to reside in a country.
That's great, Anissa. I think we are now entering fall, yeah? Is it getting cold or is still quite warm over there?
A bit chilly, but most of the time it's quite warm still.
All right. Okay, that's great. And for your information, in case you're wondering, Anissa is attending Trent University. And as you can see in our profile, Anissa is the recipient of the Renewable Entrance and Prestigious Scholarship, plus some in-course scholarships as well. And she got a grand total of approximately 100,000 Canadian dollars for a 4-year study. Is that correct, Anissa?
Yes, that's correct.
Congratulations.
Thank
I
you
guess
so
we'll
much.
dig deeper, and maybe you can share your tips and your recommendations to our audience on how to get the scholarships. Now, I like to remind our audience, we are not necessarily be giving tips on how to attain specific scholarship, but hopefully what you can learn out of this session are the best practices and the general understanding that hopefully you can replicate regardless which university you are going to go or which scholarships you are aiming, or the kind of companies that maybe you would try to apply for your co-op. So hopefully from all the myriad of knowledge that our panelists going to share today, you will be able to take that lesson learned. All right, so let's move on now to Daryl. Why you chose Canada, Daryl? It's been a while. It's been maybe close to 10 years now. Hopefully you can still remember.
Yeah. Well, for me, I always wanted to study and live in like Western country. So my choice is either like Canada or the States, and I think that Canada have like a lot of great potential. Like I can work part-time here, like during my study, and yeah, it's a great country. People are really nice here, and yeah.
Thanks, Daryl. Speaking of the part-time, Daryl is probably out of all of our panelists here have the most number of part-time work experience. In fact, we don't have enough space to put in everything in our promotion because he has too many. But that's great. That means he has a lot of experience, a very rich background. Eventually, I noticed that your experience more focused on the accounting side. And I guess that's when you know the direction you are going, and all that experience are building up and culminating to where you are now as an accounting specialist at a company called Mammoth Equipment and Exhaust. So we'll be interested to hear about that, Gerald, because lately there's been a lot of chatter about, oh, Canada is now very difficult to get part-time. It's very competitive. So hopefully you will be able to lend your tips and insights on how to land on those work part-time. Of course, nothing comes easy, but I'm sure you are a living proof that it is possible, and what needs to take place, or what students need to do in order to achieve that. So thank you for the insight. I'll be looking forward to that. Ivana, go ahead, please. Why you chose Canada?
So I think the main reason why I chose Canada is because similarly to Daryl, I've always wanted to go to like a North American country, and I found that Canada has better like permits, because in the US it's harder to work part-time when you're a student. You're more restricted in that sense, but Canada allows you to do that more. And I've always been interested in biotechnology and just like research in science, and UBC is one of the top research universities, so it just makes sense for me to go there.
Yeah, and let me tell you, when I look at Ivana's co-op experience, it's amazing. His environmental microbiology, protein engineering, and now she's as a research assistant. So obviously, co-ops are available out there, particularly for STEM, science, technology, engineering, math, and that's actually one of the popular programs, and also one of the strong programs offered by most Canadian universities. And we are very research intensive, as Ivana pointed out, especially for our research medical doctoral universities. So we'll be interested to learn more from Ivana. Same thing with co-op. We also got a chatter that it's kind of difficult to get co-op program these days. And yet Canada has the largest co-op program in the world. So how to look for the right one? Because I do recognize this. A lot of students acknowledge this, that it's particularly difficult to get the first co-op term, but things usually will start rolling as more co-op terms will become available. So Ivana will be looking for your confirmation whether that's true or not. So now, Jonathan, why you chose Canada?
Yeah, so my main reason to choose Canada is because I want to take like a computer science and become like a software engineer working in the tech field. Which North America is like one of the center where like a lot of like big tech companies are here, for example, like Google, Amazon, Nvidia as well. And I believe like the community will help me to grow in that case. And also especially because the Canada is like pretty common to do internship as part of like their school program, which is called the co-op program. And my university also has the co-op program, and I got like a lot of experience from that uh, internship. So that's like my main reason to go to Canada.
All right, so we'll be looking forward to hear more from Jonathan, because he, just like Ivana, has a very extensive experience with the co-op. And just for quick information, Jonathan is also a recipient of the Mike Lazaridis Scholarship from University of Waterloo. And I don't want to make everyone to be too jealous with Jonathan. Jonathan, this covers tuition fee and living expenses, if I'm not mistaken, for 4 years. Or is it just tuition fee? You can clarify now.
Also the living cost as well.
Oh, wow. All right. So good for you. Congratulations, Jonathan. And now, last but not least, Meryl. who is also the recipient of the undergraduate scholars entrance scholarships from Simon Fraser University, and the amount is a whopping 140,000 Canadian dollars for 4 years of study. Is that right, Meryl?
Yes, it's correct.
And is that the reason why you chose Canada, or is it something else? Go ahead.
I chose Canada because similarly to everyone else, I always wanted to study somewhere that spoke English for its primary language. And I also wanted to go somewhere that had the four seasons because I'd always wanted to experience that. And I'd always heard of Canada ever since I was a kid as a very safe and friendly place. So in around my 10th or 11th year, I started to apply there, and I thank God every day I got the scholarship. So that's kind of the reason why I solidified my choice, but I'd always wanted to go to Canada because I just thought it was a very nice and like welcoming place. And it's true, everyone here is very friendly.
Thank you so much, everyone. It's very encouraging to hear from all of you from your very brief introduction that even though you have the opportunity to get those scholarships, or maybe get the opportunity to work during study, or maybe even the PGWP, the post graduation work permit, which I assume is what Jonathan and Daryl are doing now, or have you already use up your post graduation work permit? Are you currently still on PGWP, Jonathan and Daryl?
I'm on PR right now.
Wow, congratulations. So you're already at the next level. How about you, Jonathan?
Yeah, I just applied PGWP this year.
Okay, all right. So so these what both Jonathan and Daryl represent are also possible pathway and opportunity that's available for international students as they have completed their study in Canada. So any international students that have graduated with a degree at the bachelor, master, or PhD level, they can apply for a 3-year post-graduation work permit without a job sponsor. So in other words, you don't have to find a job first or get accepted to a company first, but you can literally apply for the work permit first, and then take your time to look for the jobs that you are looking for. And that puts you on a competitive level because you are not perceived as a burden to administration or paperwork because company needs to become a sponsor because you already got that permit. So it's pretty special. So that's where Jonathan is. And once you have done quite a bit of experience and satisfy the requirement, then you can also apply for a permanent residency like what Daryl did. So excellent. But I just want to, go back to what I was commenting on earlier. Most of you are looking for all these benefits and opportunities, but everyone has the common, interest or passion of going to study in Canada, and that's because of the quality of life, the multiculturalism, the safety, how friendly the people are, and that's really what Canada stood out for. Like, I mean, all these scholarships or working part-time, co-op, and so on. These are the extra benefits that come to the mix. So thank you very much for that. So let's move on to the next question that I have, and this one I want to focus more on the process first. So for the panelists, we'll talk about the challenges and the tips and the best practice a bit later. But just to get everyone on the same level of understanding, especially from our audience, can you briefly give an overview about what the process like to get a scholarship, or to get into a co-op program, or to look for part-time jobs? What are the general, step-by-step process that you have to go through in order to be where you are right now? And with that, I'd like to start with the scholarship panelists first. So that will be Anissa, and then Jonathan and Meryl. So maybe we will start with Meryl first now to share about your what you did in terms of the process. Go ahead, Meryl.
Okay, sure. I'm sure every university has slightly different processes for like applying for scholarship, but for me, for SFU, they asked me to provide information like my extracurriculars, a personal essay, and letters of recommendation from my teachers. So I had to ask my teachers to give me a letter recommending me, like talking about how I did in their class, what they thought I did that stood out, and just whatever they could say that would possibly help me like get the scholarship and look better for the university. As for the essay, um, I was asked to talk about my experiences, my achievements, and like my challenges that I've gone through throughout my life, just to let the university know what kind of person I am. Because a lot of scholarship programs, they need to know what kind of person you are and your personality and how you were brought up, so that they have a better idea of if you're deserving of it. Is how I can say. So that's how the process was for me. It was just a lot of writing and trying to express myself and my situation to the university in a way that would make me eligible for the scholarship.
So let's talk a little bit about the recommendation letters. So when you ask for this recommendation from school, do you have can you choose like who should write the recommendation? Like, is it supposed to be the principal, or is it supposed to be one of your teacher subjects, or is it your counselor? Is it up to you?
You could choose, yes. I chose one of my teachers, my economics teacher, because I was gonna study in an economics program. So I asked him to give me a letter talking about how I did in his class, what I did that he thought was interesting or made me like a good student. And other than that, they also asked for my extracurriculars. So I asked one of my teachers that often supervised me for a lot of activities that I did. I asked her to like make a letter talking about my leadership or my initiative or anything that I did that she thought was interesting and valuable for a student to have in a university.
Okay, I think you hit a very important point there. Like when students are asking for scholarships, right? Sorry, for recommendations, they need to be clear on who to ask, right? Because it should be someone that really know you, because then they can really be, be focused in their recommendation letter. It's not going to be a static recommendation, but it's going to be dynamic. It's gonna, it's gonna appeal out, and it can really gives you a helps you to give you an overall impression, because you're right, universities will be looking at well-rounded individuals, so it's not just the academics, what's stated on the transcript, but what's more than that. And I think it's very wise for you to pick the ones that that really relevant to the program of your choice for the university. So thanks for the tips there, Meryl. Jonathan, how about you? Anything else that you want to add?
Yeah, so for me, it's quite a while ago, so I'm also trying to like recall some of the memory. But yeah, overall, it's pretty similar to what Meryl has. For me, like for the University of Waterloo, we have like separate form on top of like the application, and we also have like a different deadline as well. But for this application, it's like a form where we need to like mention all of like our extracurricular achievement and awards, and also there are like some essays where one of the question that I remember was like around like, oh, what do you want, like how do you see yourself in like 5 years, kind of like what kind of like plan that you want to do in the future, and like why you take this like subject or major as like for your study. So like they want to see like your quality as a person as well from the CC.
Thank you, Jonathan. So I think this is also important to remember when students are writing personal statement, right? Because we talked about recommendation letter with Meryl just now, and that's from somebody else. But personal statement or personal essay, that comes from you, right? And I think it's also very important that it's not about, just like what Kellen explained, right? It's not about self-embellishment. It's not your, even downright lying, or maybe just trying to be more than what you're not, because basically universities are again looking for the well-rounded applicants. They are looking at you just the way you are, but what you are, what you can bring to the university. And I think it's very important where you should be able to identify that. And this is a process, right? Because this is not something that you take it lightly. The personal statement is very important, but at the same time, as you mentioned, it's also about the projection of you in the future. Like, what do you want to become? Like, I mean, why you pick that program, where you pick that university, what is going to be your short-term and long-term plan. Again, to show how well prepared you are, well organized you are, and how you can, really be able to really break down all the goals that you want to try to achieve. Do you think, like, how much time you spent in preparing for a personal statement or an essay like that, Jonathan?
Yeah, for me, I did like quite some research. I think it's around like a few weeks because one of the answer in my essay was like about like, oh, how can like I utilize the field of my study of computer science skill that I will learn to be able to like solve real problems. So for example, like some problems in Indonesia where like I remember it was around like solving some problems using like AI or something. But yeah, basically like you need to kind of like have those kind of like real world kind of like problem which you can propose some solution, and that shows like how you actually like have any idea of like what you want to do.
Okay, sounds great. Anissa, anything different that you would like to add into the mix?
It's very customized to Trent University because there's a surprising aspect where in the prestigious scholarship where we have to submit the video essay instead of normal writing essay. That's quite a surprise for me because I have prepared my personal statement essay in written, but then they asked me to instead submit the video essay. So I have to deliver the basically the essay verbally, and it's quite challenging for me. But yeah, I'll get a hang of it.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, that's even the next level, right? I mean, writing it down is already quite challenging, but to be able to deliver it in a recording, obviously, they'll be looking at your facial expression, your body language, and how you deliver the message. So yeah, definitely. So anything else that you like to add on top of that, Anissa?
Additionally, for Trent University, there's no, because we already required to submit the video essay, there's no need for a letter of recommendation. And also, it's less competitive, I would say, less competitive compared to the other university, and it's rarely claimed. So that's why I seized the opportunity.
Okay, sounds good. Let's move on now to Ivana, co-op program. A lot of Indonesians are not familiar with the co-op program, right? So maybe you can explain a little bit about what is co-op and what's the process, how students can be in a co-op program. Go ahead.
Okay, so co-op is basically like internship, but there are like more rules to it because for it to count for as a co-op term, wait, sorry, let me backtrack. So for my program specifically, it requires to do a minimum of 16 months of co-op so you can graduate the program. And for my program, again, specifically, you are registered to the co-op program automatically when you get into the biotechnology program. But I know for normal UBC science students, you have to apply separately for the co-op program. So I believe there are GPA requirements, and there are like some courses you have to do, some workshops you have to attend on like resume or interviews. But yeah, basically that's co-op. Oh, also for it to count as a co-op for my program, it has to align with what I'm doing. So it has to be within science. So I cannot just work as like in McDonald's, for example, and have it count as a co-op. It would not count. So yeah.
So let me stop you there a little bit, Ivana, because I think you mentioned a very important point. And this is why co-op becomes very, very great, and a lot of students are looking into that because it is not about work experience. This is about a learning program. So this is part of the school program, and as part of the learning, most of the Canadian universities encourage students to learn outside the walls of the classroom. So that's why, as Ivana pointed out, the co-op are usually related to the field of the study of your choice, because then this will become a very good learning experience. But of course, on top of that, student will be able to accumulate this as work experience that they can highlight in their CV, because this will become particularly important when students graduate and they are looking to apply for the PGWP, the Post Graduation Work Permit. Guess what? This co-op places where you have worked will become good reference for you, because not only that you can highlight them in your CV, you may be able to get recommendation letters from them, and who knows, they might actually become your future employers once you have graduated. Now, Ivan, um, you mentioned this is required, right, for you, because but some of the programs, just for our audience information, not always necessarily be required. So some co-op are optional, some co-op are required. Some programs even may not have co-op because the nature of the program itself. But in order for you, because it is a required a requirement for your graduation, how many co-op terms you have to complete, Ivana?
So the minimum is 16 months. So each term in Canada is 4 months. So that is 4 terms. So 4 terms of full-time work. And it has to be paid above minimum wage, or else it also does not count. That's
all right,
important.
so that's really good. So you actually get paid. I think that's the the best news for everyone here. So you are usually going to be paid above the minimum salary. So that's good. So you got the grades, you got the experience, and you also get the salary out of it. So excellent. Now for the co-op program, can you tell a little bit more about that? Is it like when you are in the core program, somebody offer you, okay, now you report to company A starting tomorrow. How does it work?
So for UBC, they have a job board where they post job postings. So some companies prefer to hire from UBC students, so they usually reach out to the UBC science coordinator, and they usually get the postings first. But you don't have to get a job within the job board. You can also, for example, cold email people or just apply yourself on Indeed. And if it aligns with your program and it gets paid or basically fulfills all the requirement for it to count as a co-op, you just report it to your UBC science co-op coordinator, and they'll be like, okay, this is a co-op program. Thanks for reporting. Like, that's basically it.
Now, are you on your own throughout this process? Like, I mean, you are, looking for jobs, you cold email, or maybe you visit some companies and drop your CV. Is everything on your own, or is there any sort of support coming from the universities?
Oh, there's support. And remember the workshops I mentioned earlier? So they do guide you a little bit, well, actually quite extensively, on how to write a resume, on how to reach out to people, how to cold email them, even on LinkedIn, which have worked, by the way, and interview tips and everything. So yeah, they do help. They also offer interview practices. So if you tell them, hey, I have an interview for this company like this, here's the posting, can you help me prep for it? They'll happily do it for you. That's their job. So use them.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that, because that was my experience when I was in the co-op program, is that the biggest challenge is for us to prepare a CV where we have practically zero experience, right? Because everyone needs to start somewhere. Like no one will suddenly come up with 2 or 3 years of experience. Everyone start from zero, but it doesn't mean that you cannot be competitive and attractive in the job market. There are ways for you to design your CV and your cover letter, to make it still be appealing. But I think we'll leave that for the next topic of discussion. Thank you, Ivana. So moving on now to Daryl. Daryl, part-time jobs, right? We students can do it on campus with no restricted hours, and now Canada has even increased the working hours allocation, the timing, the limitation from 20 hours to 24 hours a week. I think probably during your time it was still around 20 hours a week. What's the process like for you back then?
Okay, well, the process, I guess first what I had to do is just polish my resume, because the resume in Canada is a bit different from the CV in Indonesia. It's in Indonesia, it's like you put your picture and the structure, everything is different. So yeah, first, like I utilize my university had a like career resource place that I can ask them like to help with my resume and also like help with the interview and everything. But yeah, after that, the part-time job that I got mostly was from applying online, so mostly from Indeed or from LinkedIn. And I also had work like in my university as a cleaner, and sometimes they have like an internal like job posting for specifically for student. So yeah.
All right, let me unmute myself there. So I think that's probably, again, also one of the main difference between co-op and the part-time works that are available for students, right? The co-op usually tend to be more, well, I won't say academic oriented, but it's related to the field of your study. While part-time is actually open for anything, right? And I don't know whether it's true, and Gerald, you're welcome to correct me on this, but I think most of the part-time jobs available out there are usually more service-oriented. Either, I don't know, cafe, F&B, establishment, restaurant, and so on, or, convenience store, grocery store, on campus. Like a lot of students have pessimism about finding jobs in universities, but I mean, universities can be a pretty large community in itself, right? Because they have a lot of facilities, the library, the gym, the international student office, and many other businesses or operations that take place on the university ground. So students can also be looking into that. What do you think, Daryl? What would be like you know the best spot? The kind of businesses that are usually hiring a lot of part times.
Well, retail usually have
Good point.
they have like seasonal like hiring. Usually like during summer. Um, Other than that, like yeah, F&B like restaurant. And like during my time, it was hard for me like to find like my first part-time job. So what I did is also uh I did like volunteering. So I was volunteering in the like doing food sortation for like charity place. So that's really helped because previously like I didn't have any Canadian experience, and here like they value Canadian experience more. And yeah.
Gerald, this is supposed to be for the next topic, but because realizing how important this is, I might as well address this now because we might forget otherwise. I think it's very important, and I underline this with an invisible underline for everyone to remember because this is very important. I think and I think Ivana probably will say the same thing. Jonathan probably gonna say the same thing. The first job, right? The first co-op, the first part-time, that is always the most difficult or the most challenging to get. But don't give up. Step outside your comfort zone and actually trying to do, and volunteering is actually stepping outside the comfort zone, because a lot of people probably will not be interested because like, oh, I mean, seriously, volunteer, no money, nothing in it for me. But it can't be further from the truth, because I think what Gerald said is very important. Because volunteering actually putting you out there, right? You will be able to get the networking, you will get the exposure, you will get the experience, and you will learn a lot out of that, because those are life skills, problem solving skills, interpersonal skills that will be relevant for you, will be important for you. So not everything is about tangible dollar value, but there are some intangible benefits that will come from the part-time and from those volunteering. I have another example. A student also doing a co-op and was having a great difficulty with this co-op. And do you know what this student did? It happened back then during tsunami in Aceh. And she actually, and this is a girl, volunteered post tsunami, of course, to be deployed there and volunteering, helping out with some NGOs. That's the kind of degree of stepping outside comfort box that I'm talking about here. Now, that probably way in the spectrum there. But I mean, there are other ways for you to be able to step outside your comfort zone, be more open-minded. The kind of companies, the kind of positions, that it may require you taking a bus 30 minutes, maybe to the city or somewhere else. But if it means that you will get more experience for the first one, I will say go for it, because it will only get better afterwards. So thank you very much, Daryl, on that. So with that, let's move on to the next topic, because time is continuing to run with us. So let's focus on the challenges now. Now we have to acknowledge not just the Cinderella story, but the reality of it, right? It comes with a challenge. It's not, all just sweet and sunny. So guys, let's go back again now. Maybe we will start with Jonathan first. What are the challenges in getting scholarships? I think everyone realized how difficult it is, but I mean, what are some real challenges that you experience when you are trying to get scholarship? Obviously, you probably won't just be applying for one, but please tell your story.
Yes. So this is like very specific to my case because like uh ever since like high school, like I know, oh, if I want to like study uh like abroad from outside Indonesia, like I need to get like a scholarship. So yeah, my preparation was since back then where I'm more like focused on like my high school activity, which participating in math Olympiads and get like as as much award as possible. So that's like contribute hugely to my scholarship, where like a lot of university really appreciate those like people who has like this uh, like awards, and basically that's also the one that got me into like the scholarship that I had, which was specifically targeted for international math and computer science, math and informatics Olympiad. So that's like the huge one. And the next one, of course, was preparing for like the essay and stuff. I need to start learning English, learning for like doing the IELTS test, because yeah, I didn't have like much English experience back in high school. So that's like in my grade 12, like I'm pretty much like speedrun those uh, learning. Yeah.
All right. So maybe people will write it down. One, obviously, if you want to study in Canada, right, you got to be proficient in English. And that means preparing your TOEFL or IELTS requirement early. And I'm just going to be throwing this out there in case you are wondering. TOEFL IBD target score usually around 80 to 90 for undergrad study. For IELTS, it's usually 6.5 with no band below 6. Jonathan, how many scholarships did you apply before you landed with the Maya Kalasarides scholarship? Or you only applied to one because University of Waterloo is your only choice?
Yes, technically.
Jonathan, do people need to write exams or tests or anything to apply for scholarship? And maybe Anissa and Meryl will be able to answer this as well.
Yeah, for my case, no. We just need like that one application form with all the essays, and that's technically.
Meryl, Anissa, how about you? Meryl, Anissa, can you hear me? Do you need to write anything like exam, tests, or anything for the scholarship?
I can go first. Okay. So no, sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Okay, so there's no exam requirements for Trent University. The only thing, if you're a mature student, this is very technical though, you have to convert your recent transcripts from your earlier university degree to through, I think, WES, because you have already earned your first degree from another country. So then you have to convert that to the Canadian credentials, and then it will be transferred. There will be some credits transferred to your university that you're applying for.
Okay. So if you have some post-secondary experience in the past, then that would be good, because then you can get some of the credits transferred as well. How about Meryl?
Yes, I didn't have to do any exams for it, but for SFU at least, they did ask for a lot of community engagement and like extracurricular and volunteer work. I remember for my application, they asked me to list like up to 5 achievements and like activities that I joined. I did like volunteering or like whatever, just whatever was outside of academics. Because I feel like they put a lot of emphasis on that. They put a lot of emphasis on like on going above what is required from school. So I think the biggest challenge was just trying to find a new thing to join every other week, like a new competition or like a new community engagement kind of activity. Yeah.
So for high school students listening to this, I hope that you are writing down notes like crazy now. So obviously it's very important, like both Jonathan and Meryl said, outside your school time, where you need to aim very good grades for those subjects, but it may not necessarily be enough because you gotta be looking at other things. Like in Jonathan's case, he was very actively participating in all different kinds of competitions, and just compete out there. And for Meryl, she did the same, but of course, she also added the volunteering, the community involvements that are also very important. So academic and non-academic, the balance of it, and to show that you are, again, I think this has been the recurring theme of our discussion, to show how well-rounded you are as an individual. And of course, English proficiency, as Jonathan pointed out, regardless where you want to study these days, English proficiency requirement may be required, especially for English-speaking destinations. So there is really no harm in preparing early with your IELTS and TOEFL. All right. So I like that we sort of combine the challenges and the tips and the recommendations from you. And I think we probably need to do that because I see that we are now at 10:30. So maybe we have about 15 minutes left. And I do want to cover a couple more points about the topics of discussion. But let's move on now to Daryl and Ivana, because your challenges will be on finding jobs, whether that's for co-op, for part-time. What is it like?
I can go first.
Go
So I
ahead.
also work a bit part-time, and I honestly think it helps with co-op. So for securing my first part-time, I was involved in various clubs in universities. So not just volunteering, involved in clubs is also an option. And how I got into these clubs were also because I was involved in different things in high school. So it all links back, So now I have my Canadian experience. I also do part-time. And that also helps with my resume when I apply for co-ops. And the challenges were obviously just the job market, because for my area of study specifically, some research labs or like companies, they cannot hire international students because maybe some of the research fundings is from the government and they want to hire Canadians. So that was kind of an issue, and there's not, well, you get less opportunities as an international student. But what I did was I was not picky at all with applying jobs. I applied to everything that I was even only partly eligible for. First co-op, just don't be picky. I think, yeah, that's for me.
Thank you, Ivana. Yeah, that seems to be the kind of advice that I'll get from a lot of co-op students is try to be less picky, with your first co-op term. But I think you mentioned a very good point, and I think this is where part-time also really helps, right? Because part-time will start adding more into your CV, things that you can highlight, so you won't just be limited to, to represent yourself only based on grades or on courses that you have taken, but actually be able to highlight some of your experience at Canadian businesses or organizations that definitely going to help with your CV when you are applying for co-op. So that's good. But I like to ask this to you and Jonathan, in terms of number wise. Because I think we need to set the reality very clearly to our audience here. When you apply for the co-op, how many co-ops applications did you make before you finally land your first co-op job? Do you have an idea?
Yeah, I had an Excel spreadsheet, so I still remember. So for my first co-op, I applied to 30 positions. I landed 3 interviews. I got one offer. And then for my second co-op, I applied to nine applications and 3 interviews, one and maybe half of offers.
So the conversion gets better, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so hey, you're not listening from me, from CI, but you are listening this directly from somebody that has done co-op. So generally speaking, you're right, Ivana. Like, I mean, by the second and third, usually the conversion gets better. I hope the salary offering also gets better too.
Oh yeah.
There you go. Thank you, Ivana. How about you, Jonathan?
Yeah. So for my case, for my first co-op, it was like 50 applications where I got 3 interviews and
Sorry,
one
50
offer.
or 15?
50.
50.
50, yes.
Wow. Okay.
And even like in the later co-ops, I still apply like more, like up to 100 for just one term at one point. Yeah.
Right. You have to be proactive, right? And you have to be, but do you generally agree, Jonathan, that, as you progress through the years, it gets better and it gets a bit easier, maybe, to find jobs?
Yes. So usually like for my case, like some company actually just hire like more experienced and senior student, which of course they also have like Waterloo also like set kind of like, oh, for this like term that the salary range is usually around this much. So the company like kind of like need to comply that as well. So yeah, it does get better.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you for that. And Daryl, anything different than maybe going for co-op, or do you also find the same process and challenges as well?
Oh yeah, for myself, well, I didn't have like co-op per se. Like my university had a kind of like a practicum, so it was only just for like one semester where I have to find a job like in the field of study that I'm at. So like for me, it's like business, like accounting. So luckily, well, I applied to a lot of places, but during my time when I was working part-time, it definitely helped me secure the co-op place that I was working, because yeah, having Canadian experience is really helpful. And yeah, it takes you just have to get used to rejection, because I've been rejected like a lot of times. Like I don't know like how many emails did I get about the rejection for my application, but yeah, just be persistent and like you'll find something.
Yeah, I don't think the number of rejection matters, right? I mean, Ivana got 90 something rejections before she got the first offer. You mentioned 100 or 50? 50. Sorry, I think it was Jonathan that says 100. You applied for 50 and you got 3 interviews. Is that correct, Ivana?
30 applications, 3 interviews.
Oh wow, yours is actually very good conversion. So wow, 30 applications, 3 interviews, but eventually got 1 offer.
But I do want to mention though, there's some nuance behind this because my field is not as popular as computer science. So
True,
there's less
true.
job postings because I was applying to everything and that was everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, that to keep in mind.
A quick round. I know that most of you have done part-time, right? Or are currently doing part-time. How early you started your part-time? Is it right away in the first year, or you wait a little bit later?
I can go first since I'm unmuted already. So I got my first part-time job, I think 1 month after I'm here. And
wow.
I worked at an amusement park, so basically at Dufan. That was my first job here.
Nice. PNE, let me guess.
Yeah, PNE, yeah. They do like to hire people who don't have any experience and they hire in the summer. So keep an eye out for them.
Yeah, so because that's seasonal, right?
Yeah.
PNE isn't always open all year round, but they are particularly busy during summer, so they're gonna need a lot of help. So yeah, it will be best time for hiring around that time. So thanks for that, Ivana. How about you, Jonathan? How early you start your part-time? Or did you go for co-op right away?
For my first year, like first 3 terms, I focusedly like preparing for my first co-op. But right after my first co-op, like, oh, I started applying for part-time for software engineer role as well, and got one in my second year. Yeah.
Nice. So most of you start early. Anissa, you're in the second year, and you told me that you are doing part-time right now. Did you start in the second year or first year?
I got it during summer. I tried to apply, same story as the other panelists. I tried to apply many jobs and landed to 2 offers only, and I got it during summer, but where they actually lost most of their employees due to holidays and also closer to academic years. So they try to hire more people during summertime. So it's one of the tips that I can give to others that would like to apply for a part-time job in Canada.
So we've been talking quite a bit about summertime, both Ivana and Anissa, and I just want to remind our audience. So for international students studying in Canada, you have limited hours for working off campus during school semesters. So that means from September to November for the fall, and then January to April for winter or spring semester. So these ones, you have to be very strict with yourself because you cannot violate the IRCC regulations. So you have to be very clear on this because this may affect your eligibility for PGWP if you violate any of these regulations. So keep it at no more than 24 hours a week. But on campus, you can work with no restriction in terms of time. But if you are in the summer, because it's not a really school semester, I mean, campuses open all year round and you can study during summer semester. But if your choice, you want to work part-time, you can actually work full-time only in the summer. So that's something that for you to note as well. Okay. All right. Let's move on a little bit now on the on your overview, because a lot of people were concerned that Canada is not in the best economic state at the moment. With the deteriorating trade ties between Canada and its neighbor down south, U.S. I mean, these are all facts, right? So I'm sure our audience here are probably thinking about the same thing too. But you are on the ground, right? Some of you are working, some of you are graduated already, and you are professional now there. What is the overview about the current economy there? Like, I mean, is there still opportunity for international students there in Canada? Let's start with Gerald and Jonathan, because you have graduated and you are working now. What's your take in this?
Okay, yeah, I can start first. Well, yeah, for me personally, well, I think the economy is not the best right now, with the tariff and everything going on with the states. But I'm fairly optimistic about the future because well, recently there's also a partnership announcement between Indonesia and Canada, which is
Correct.
really great.
That's right.
Yeah, so well, finding jobs. I recently started I just started my role like for like couple months, like 7 months. And yeah, I find it a bit harder than the previous one, maybe due to the economy, but I'm optimistic that it's going to get better from here.
All right, Daryl. How about you, Jonathan? Because you are in the tech sector, right? And tech sector was supposedly to be one of the robust sectors in Canada. So what's your take in this?
Yeah, so for my case, yes, it's been like worse if we compare to like a few years ago, especially like around 2021, where like I think there's like the like bubble where like all companies just like hire massively. But right now we didn't see that much often. But recently, because uh, a lot of you guys already see in the news like about tech is mostly about like AI. So a lot of like new startups like start to coming up where they got like funding from the investor, and they also like do hiring. And yeah, I think that's definitely like also contribute to like the job market, which still not as bad as before, but still pretty good, I think, for tech.
Yeah, speaking of AI, because I did a little bit research on this and for doing a presentation on the attractiveness of Canada in the AI and data science sector, and I realized that AI is a very big in Canada. I mean, for those of you interested to study computer science, artificial intelligence, data science, Canada is definitely a great place. I mean, we are a great place to study all kind of fields of study, but I think for AI in particular, seeing how how popular and how important it is, or how it has evolved over the years, I think it's definitely a field of study that our audience may want to consider if you are into tech. And Canada is definitely a great place. And I just realized that in Montreal, we have the largest AI research center. I think it's called Mali or My something. It's
Yeah, I forgot the name.
it's very good opportunity. I think Edmonton, Montreal, and Toronto, they all have established important research centers for AI. All right, so thank you, Daryl. Thank you, Jonathan, for the optimism.
Oh,
And
just
yes,
I want to add something like real quick for that. So just another thing about AI in Canada. Just a fun fact that two of the like we call it like godfather of AI, who recently like won Nobel Prize for their contribution in AI, they were like from Canada. Yeah.
oh wow, thank you for the fun fact. Yes, so um, it's really reassuring to hear from Daryl and Jonathan, who are there working and they have that positive outlook about where Canada is going. And I personally involved in the Indonesia Canada Chamber of Commerce, so I was aware of the Indonesia Canada SIPA that was signed earlier between Indonesia and Canada, and Papa Prabowo was there as well. But it's not just between Canada and Indonesia. I see that Canada has diversified our partners now for investment and for trading, not only just with the US as our main partner, and they're still our main partner, but we are now diversifying for the Indo-Pacific region as well. So it's definitely sort of the direction that Canada goes now. And I, for one, also quite optimistic that Canada will rise and continue to go out there and promote themselves and provide and create opportunities. So for students, and I always remind this for the students, you are still in Indonesia right now. So what you need to look at are the outlook for the next 5 years, not what's happening right now, but what's going to be 4 years down the road, because that's when you're probably going to graduate from your undergrad study and you will be out there in the job market. So the kind of field of study that you want to look, the prospect of the industry, that's something that you got to look 5 years from now. And AI and other fields may have very promising growth in the next 5 years, especially area like science, STEM, agriculture, forestry, environmental science, business commerce. These are, even though it's always been around, but even these programs are also evolving as well. All right, so thank you so much to our panelists. I wish we really have more time to be able to discuss all these topics, because they are very interesting. So maybe we need to do round two next time. So stay tuned. We'll be relying on your on-ground knowledge about what's happened. But let's use the remaining time we have to answer questions from the audience. But if not yet, then I'll be happy to carry on with our discussion with our panelists. Maybe while waiting, we've talked about the scholarship, we talked about the co-op, we talked about the part-time job. Any other ways to make it more affordable to study in Canada? And I like to have a free round from everyone, because I'm sure you have your own unique experience, how to save money, how to make some smart money decision making. Please go ahead. Let's start with Anissa first.
For me personally, I love to cook. So one thing that one way that I can save money is to have a weekly meal plan, and also involving in some university events, especially from the international team, where they always bring free foods at campuses. And what else? Also finding the affordable grocery around the town. That's definitely one of the way. And to avoid any transportation fee, because the bus pass is already included in the tuition and ancillary fee from my scholarship. So it's basically free for out of my expenses.
You got me already at free food. So I think that's also one of the reasons, well, not the main reasons, but it's also one of the reasons why we join different clubs, associations, organizations, right? Because food always get people together. And that was my experience as well. That would be free food to go around. But on a more serious note, I think Anissa mentioned about, be more mindful about some of the grocery shoppings because they have promos, they have discounts, they have coupons. Like, I mean, believe it or not, there's still coupons out there, whether it's physical coupons or digital coupons, and you can actually save quite a bit. There is specific day to watch movies. Matinee is that matinee is that the thing everywhere? Like, anyone familiar with that? Like, so a specific day to watch movie because it's cheaper.
Yeah, on Tuesday.
Yeah,
On
Tuesday.
Is it the same
Cineplex,
in
yeah.
Canada?
I
Or
think so,
nobody
yeah.
watches it anymore? You are on Netflix. Yeah, but I think it's still around. So be mindful of that because there are some ways to save money as well. So Anissa, with Trent University, so there is a student rate for public transportation, like a student card.
Yeah, bus pass. We call that bus pass, including the health insurance. So it's included in the ancillary fees outside of the tuition. Once you get the scholarship, it's basically free for you.
Yeah, for Ontario, all the health plan are built into the tuition fee package as well. But I think for our panelists from BC, I think you probably gonna mention about the medical plan by the BC provincial government. You're all on that. How much is it now for 1 year? Ivana, Meryl, you're all from BC. Maybe you can share a little bit.
Yeah, it's $75 per month for health insurance.
Yeah, and it covers everything except specialists, right?
Yeah, except dentists, I think.
Dentist and I think optician.
Yeah, and eyes, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Daryl, you're probably the most senior one here out of the panelists in terms of how many years you have lived there. I'm waiting for your wealth of knowledge.
Well, yeah, definitely. Cooking is definitely a game changer. For me personally, like when I was in Indonesia, like I couldn't even cook egg for myself, so I had to like learn. But it's a really good life skill. To learn how to cook, and like you save a ton of money. And yeah, buying the grocery, like make sure that you check the flyer, make sure that like if y- well if you hear long enough, you know when there's like a good deal. And sometimes like you buy bulk just because it's cheaper, and like you know that you will use it anyway. Um yeah, other than that, well, if you can find a part-time job in restaurant, you can potentially get a free food. Yeah.
Your idea about the bulk shopping, right? Because I think in Canada we have those big Costco or other wholesalers that where you can go in and buy in bulk, and it's actually a lot cheaper, especially if you're gonna use it throughout. And you mentioned something else before the bulk, and that's cooking. Yes, because food can be quite expensive if you are relying on restaurants, because you got a tip as well. So that can be a bit costly. But so Daryl, you now become an amateur home cook and maybe join the master chef.
I'm getting better.
Ivana, any other tips from you?
Yeah, so when I was working, my company had snacks and breakfast food, so I always eat breakfast in the
Oh,
office
wow.
for free, technically. And if you eat enough snacks, that's also your lunch. So it depends on how much you can stomach. And some company events also have food, and there's almost always leftovers. And they always take pity on the co-op, so they always give them to us, which is also nice. And so, yeah, also meal prepping is super important.
Yeah. Well, they paid you minimum salary, right? So they gotta give you something else. Joking aside, co-op students can get paid pretty well too. So don't let Ivana fool you. I mean, I think it's probably start with minimum salary, but things get to improve, especially for more specialized positions and also sectors like yourself. Correct, Ivana?
It definitely depends on the field. Like, of course, computer science gets paid more than biotechnology, but it's more than minimum wage.
I think Ivana nudged you there, Jonathan. So it's your turn now. Any saving suggestions from you?
Yeah, so unlike the others, I'm actually like never really cook. But yeah, so my strategy for like food is when I usually like do takeout, and yeah, I just like buy the like just like the meat and stuff without like the rice. So it's usually like get like bigger portion, and then like I just cook my own rice, and then like uh yeah, I can get like few meals out of that. So my food budgeting is not as good as cooking, but still like pretty affordable. But on top of that, like yeah, free food, and sometimes they also have like discount for like students. So I also utilize that pretty often.
So we've talked quite a bit, and I understand because meal is a big portion of our living expense and the grocery shopping as well. But I wonder, anyone have any suggestions about accommodation? Because accommodation can be quite costly, right? And it's probably the biggest chunk of our living expense. Meryl, any suggestion? Are you in dorm right now, or are you out there already?
Yes, I'm living in dorms.
Okay. So most of you, did you all start with dorm in your first year and then move out afterward? Anyone doing anything differently?
I did start from I already like outside campus housing.
When did you move out of the campus, Jonathan? Second year?
My first year was during COVID, so around like 2020.
Oh,
And by the time I arrived to Canada, I can just like rent outside, which apparently more cheaper than like
oh,
cheaper than
really?
the.
Do you live on your own or you share with a couple of students?
I share with a couple of friends.
Okay, so it ends up being cheaper rather than living in dorm.
Yes, because one thing is also like because sometimes for dorm it requires you to get like meal plan, which is like a set amount of money that you need to spend by the end of the term. Otherwise, it's just like gone.
Gone. Okay.
Yes, but in campus housing, yeah, you can like optimize that by like cooking by your own and yeah.
Okay. So how about Anissa? Are you also you're in second year now? So are you still on dorm?
No, I've always lived out of campus, so off campus accommodation. I would suggest if you're looking for a more affordable option to get the shared room, but there's not much of privacy right there. But I'm currently renting a room, but I share the common facilities with the other tenants.
Smart. So share the common facilities, but have your own private room.
Correct.
Okay.
Mhm.
Gerald, Ivana, anything else to add on the accommodation?
Yeah, so usually the cheaper accommodations are a bit far from campus, so try to go for those, but also the caveat is you're paying with time. So it depends on your situation specifically and what you prioritize.
That's a good point. But I think it's safe to say that the public transportation is quite reliable in Canada. Anyone disagree with that?
I think it depends on the specific areas. The
Okay.
SkyTrains are good for sure, but some buses less.
Okay. Yes, agreed on that. Okay. Daryl, anything else to add from you?
Yeah, just in terms of the accommodation, definitely like if you share, let's say like a two-bedroom apartment, it's cheaper. And as what Jonathan said about the dorm, I know that my university dorm, like they also required me to get a meal plan. That's why like I didn't get it because it just add to the cost is just way too much for it. So yeah, I think best way is to share a like a two-bedroom apartment with someone else. So you that way like you can have like privacy and you have like a shared bathroom and like living room.
All right. Well, Thank you so much, everyone. I've received a couple of questions already, but because they came late, I will not be able to address all of them. But I think there are quite a few number of questions on scholarship programs for graduate programs. So I like to address that because I think most of the experience shared by our panelists today are on scholarship for undergraduate programs. But I have good news for our potential graduate students going to Canada because, if any, there are more options for you now. The scholarship for undergrad students are usually offered by the universities only because government doesn't offer scholarship for undergrad students. But for graduate students, you will be able to check on the graduate scholarship programs offered by the government of Canada. May I have somebody from my team to type down the link? It's www.scholarships.gc.ca, and if you go to that website, there is actually a link for you to click where you can narrow down the scholarship offerings from the government of Canada based on your citizenship. So, for example, you're from Indonesia, you can choose Indonesia from the drop-down menu, and they will give you a whole listing of scholarship programs offered to grad students. But of course, on top of that, you can always rely on the scholarship programs offered by the respective universities. So same process, you gotta go into that, into their website and be looking that under the financial aid for international students. I have to say though, the grad tuition fees are already very much more affordable than the undergrad tuition fees. So the grad tuition fees for studying in Canada for international students are usually around 20,000. With the exception of MBA, because MBA is a completely different animal, so it's much more expensive than that. But generally speaking, for grad programs are about 20,000 something. I think the biggest challenge with the grad programs in Canada is not the how expensive it is, but it's the competitiveness to get it because there are more limited space for grad programs, and therefore you need to be more competitive in terms of your experience, your grades, your recommendations, and also other tests that you need to write for the grad programs. So I think that's really about it. But once more, I want to recognize all of our panelists. Thank you very much to Anissa, Jonathan, Meryl, Ivana, and Daryl for your time, and for all your, full sharing of your stories. That means a lot, and I'm sure it benefits everyone. Thank you so much. Have a great rest. Enjoy your weekend, and all the best with your study or with your work there. And for our audience listening into the Study in Canada Future Talk, please stay tuned for our future online events. And we are definitely looking forward to welcome you at the Study in Canada Fair and Study in Canada Info Session later this month. But it's a wrap. Thank you so much for listening and have a great weekend. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for having
Thank you.
us.
Thank you and good
Such
luck,
a good
everyone.
discussion. Bye. Have a good night.